still keeping it in matters financial services, well, the government mobile bond M-Akiba has managed to raise 43 million shillings and has around 40,000 subscribers in just 5 days, an increase from the 847,000 shillings raised in just 15 minutes of its launch. Trading in government securities has for a long time been a preserve of high net worth individuals who can afford the minimum outlay of 50,000 shillings, and with tranches running into hundreds of thousands. As a result, Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Treasury is so far optimistic about the bond's performance, and let's listen in on what he had to say.
Today, the total buys are 43 million. 43 million, and I think almost 40,000 people have registered in the M-Akiba. So there are those who have registered but yet to buy, so they are probably in the process of buying. So that's where we are.
Interesting that we're seeing a good uptick there on M-Akiba. Of course, you can get to participate with just 3,000 shillings, and of course interest rates are quite looking up for people having that in mind. So right now we want to shift gears and cross over to our I&M studios, and we want to talk matters to do with what's happening in the economy really. And allow me to now bring in our guests from I&M, and we should be having them live right now. Of course, a lot happening in the business landscape. What expectations do you have moving forward, even as Kenya goes to the budget reading? Well, if you can hear me, perhaps what the expectations you have around M-Akiba, of course, bearing in mind it was launched just this week. What do you see so far moving forward around M-Akiba?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me today. M-Akiba is supposed to enhance financial inclusivity for most of Kenyans who have previously been excluded from participating in government securities due to the high entry level. And so now with an entry level of 3,000 shillings per person, it becomes even more available to your common mwananchi, who can now access savings products offered by the Kenya government and actually earn a really good return on their investments.
Ross, of course, looking at the dynamics around the economy right now, there's a lot of investor activity, of course, despite Kenya preparing for elections. And financial inclusion remains an issue that governments are still struggling to achieve maximum financial sector deepening. So from where you sit, where we are seeing a lot of interest in the mobile money transfer, how is this going to impact on the product M-Akiba?
The mobile money transfer is a tool that we've decided to capitalize on to ensure that people can actually easily invest in M-Akiba. So the fact that there is such high mobile penetration in Kenya makes it much easier for us to launch a product such as M-Akiba. And as you heard yesterday, actually the statistics today are that we have over 50,000 registrations, and we also have purchases of over 60 million. And so it looks like this offer will be oversubscribed even before we get to the end of the offer period. So I think Kenyans are hungry for investment products that are easy to access and that offer them a good return. And I think M-Akiba will answer a lot of these questions.
Totally agree. And Rose, looking at M-Akiba, there's still that fear among Kenyans in terms of how sure is this product in the market? Has all the do you have any vulnerabilities that the people investing might be exposed to?
M-Akiba carries the same weight as any government security that you would invest in. It has a guaranteed return, it has a good interest rate, and any commercial entity that buys government securities through the normal channels accesses the same level of security that the common wananchi will be availed of through M-Akiba. Really, all we are saying is that it's the same product, it's a government infrastructure bond, and therefore it has the same guarantees that come with investing in infrastructure, government infrastructure bonds. The only difference is the channel of delivery to the Kenyan citizens.
Looking at this, Rose, again, from an industry perspective, what should we expect moving forward now that there's this heightened appetite for investment products in the markets? Where do you see Kenya, let's say 5 years from now, if there's a successful uptake of M-Akiba as well as other products such as the rates as well as the other products offered by NSE?
I believe that this product will actually change the landscape of investors in the Kenyan capital markets, and Kenyans' appetite for investment products will actually grow. If you think about the capital markets, we've been more or less at the same level of about 60 listed companies, same number of investors. But with M-Akiba, this is going to really revolutionize how people interact with investment products. So I think 5 years down the road, we'll be looking at more investment products being offered electronically. We'll be looking at being able to meet the needs of Kenyans, the investment needs of Kenyans, and being able to reach even the furthest corners of the country and telling people that just because you're out in remote areas doesn't mean that you cannot access investment opportunities. So I think 5 years down the road, we'll be quite well on the road towards actually achieving financial inclusivity.
All right. And I'd like to get your parting shot. What are some of your expectations of the budget reading, and any specific items you'd like addressed during the reading?
For us at the capital markets, we always look forward to incentives that bring more products and more companies to the capital markets. So for me, I would like to see more emphasis on how we can make it much easier for companies to access the capital markets, how we can give more incentives to investors, and how we can just make our capital markets more attractive, not just locally, but internationally as well.
Many thanks there, Rose Mambo, the Chief Executive Officer for the Central Depository and Settlement System, talking to us on matters to do with M-Akiba.